Ladies and gentlemen, at least 1 year in the making. It has been far, far too long since I've done anything on Tuesdays. It's about time I got back into the flow with things. So that being said, I am Supersonic 407 and or Spokesman Toad, whichever one you prefer, Brofin1 and RoushutsuRises. And let's pick up back where we left off in the Sly Cooper universe with the well-acclaimed sequel, Sly 2, Band of Thieves.
Fucking hell yes!
Yeah, in the past, we talk about getting around to Sly 2 Band of Thieves for quite some time. It's like, my god, it's like, to think, as of this recording, it's like, my god, it has been a bit over 3 years since we tackled Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus.
Oh no, are you doing the HD version?
Yes.
The borders. The goddamn borders.
This is Peking Duck.
Oh, wait, borders?
Because usually I find some black tape and just tape it over like the sides.
Oh, yeah.
Because the layout UI wasn't scaled.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, it's like, I did whatever I could to, like, edit out the video where it's, like, the borders or whatever. There won't be, like, that much of an issue.
Alright.
It's probably one of the many reasons why it took so long for me to put together this entire playthrough. Was like the additional edits that I've done, not just for like the layout AI UI or whatever, but also with like, okay, with a shitload of subtitles that you'll see throughout the entirety of this game. Yeah, it's like a shitload of like additional video editing I had to do to make the HD version at least look decent to look at. A shitload of subtitles, and much other stuff.
Also, Ryan, you asshole, that sign said do not touch, and you touched it.
Hey, I did not touch it with my bare hands, I touched it with my cane.
It counts. It's fair game.
Look. Look, hey, I'm a rebel, alright? The things I do to get coins, like, much early on in the game, which I should probably point out, it's like, unlike Sly 1, where it's like the only way you could get coins is like the only time you would ever get coins was to get Lucky Charms. Coins work differently in this game, which we will get into like sometime relatively soon. But yeah, basically Lucky Charms, they're no longer a thing in this game. If you haven't noticed already, this time around we have a health bar. So yeah, health is actually a thing in this game, instead of like getting taken out by just one hit.
Yeah, but that's like, I know, if you guys remember all the way back in the Sly 1 playthrough, that was the first time I had seen anything Sly related, so I was approaching that very blind. Pretty much after Ryan completed Sly 1, I did go out and buy the Sly collection and Sly 4. So I've played all the Sly games now, so sorry you're not going to get a blind reaction from me this time around. But I will say, just the fact that we have a health bar, that already put Sly 2 way above Sly 1 for me.
Also seeing Bentley for the first time in the field, it's like, that's also another really good added bonus, like, compared to the first game. Because in the first game, you know, we see, like, Sly and Murray, you know, like, but like within the van, you know, talking to you like through through your binocucom or whatever. This time around, it's like much like what we just saw with Bentley here. We now get to see Bentley and Murray into the field for the first time.
I actually got
like everything.
I actually got a little jarred there for a second. Sorry, I got a little jarred there for a second because, like, I'm fully aware that you know Bentley and Murray are both more active in this game, but I totally forgot that Bentley's. Sorry for me getting a little ahead here.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, but it just seems like everything in this game is like a huge improvement from the first one. Like, I cannot think of one thing that I liked better in Sly 1 compared to Sly 2.
Oh yeah, like if you were like if you were to look at the like Bentley and Sly talking, or just any of the characters in general, it's like, yeah, the animations for like the characters talking, it's still rather, you know, static or like kind of stiff and most of the times, but even then, it's like it still looks so much better than how they handled, you know, character animations and say like Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus when it comes to characters talking. They seem more expressive.
I think one thing that I actually liked more from the first game than this one, and this is you know, completely my opinion. It's completely debatable, and that's the cast of villains. Like getting like we'll obviously see this cast of villains, like, you know, later on, but like I think I really do think the Fiendish Five, I think, were like a good, honestly, were like the peak of villains for all the games, honestly.
Right, yeah.
Because I actually felt menaced from those guys, whereas a lot of the villains in like this game and like up and coming, like, sure, they had, like, I get more annoyed or more like inconvenienced by them, really, than I actually do fear.
Right. No, I think I can see where you're coming from, but it's like, for me, it's like, yeah, don't get me wrong, it's like, I love the Fiendish Five, but however, it's like, I'm not saying that it's like, I don't like the cast of villains we're getting here. It's just like, it's like, I don't know, I still feel like the not the Fiendish Five, like, this new cast of villains that we're running into, it's like, they don't have like the same vibe as like the Fiendish Five, but they still have their charm. No, they
definitely have I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying I like the
yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to imply that you're saying they were bad. I'm just saying it's like, yeah, I do get a different vibe from this new cast of villains, but it's like, oddly enough, I still find like this cast of villains that we'll run into to also be like very memorable in their own way. Not exactly like the Fiendish Five, but in their own way.
Oh yeah, they're definitely still memorable. I think the Fiendish Five were a little stronger.
Right.
Okay, that's fair.
I do also have to ask, the last game pretty much interpreted Murray as a coward, as well as also really clumsy. What happened between then and now that where Murray got good?
Murray.
I don't know. I'm honestly thinking it's more so it's like freaking. I think you know what, I could have sworn I read this in the manual when they were going into detail about the characters, like the bios and such. I think, and don't quote me on this, I could be wrong, but I think it's more so like Murray was in between like games, like throughout the entirety of Sly 1, Murray was really inspired by how great Sly was in the field and how he's kicking butt and all that stuff, that Murray felt inspired to try to do the exact same thing. Hence, you know, he took the persona of the Murray.
Rise.
Oh. And
rise from your
grave. One thing that annoys me in all of them, in all the Sly games, why does Carmelita get a different actress every goddamn game?
That's a question for the century, Danny. No one knows.
I know, but it's like, and honestly, of all of the Carmelita voices, this one in Sly 2 is probably the one I like the least.
Yeah, because they completely drop her accent and then bring it back for Sly 3.
She can't even act. Like, it sounds very wooden.
Right.
You know, it's so weird for me when it comes to the multiple voice directions they took for Carmelita. It's like, yeah, it's like, I agree, it's kind of weird hearing Carmelita without the accent, but for me, surprisingly, it still works really well in this case.
That's like, I would have to say, like, probably my favorite voice for Carmelita is her current one, like, or at least the one they got for Sly 4 was Grey Delisle. She did great with Carmelita there, so I was like, I'd have to say that's my favorite one. What the hell happened to Murray?
Sly! She got me in the foot! Shake a leg, Murray. You can walk. You can run it off.
This is where things get fun.
Hey, come back here, Ringtail.
But it's like, in cases like this, it's like, I also really love it how it's like they try to make like Sly 2 like at times like this a bit more cinematic, if that's what you want to call it. I mean, except for the part where I end up running straight into the window by mere accident, and I'm like, whoa, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself here. But you know what I mean.
It's good.
Also, ow.
It's a good thing Sly has the power to break windows with his face.
he busts through the window, like glass shards everywhere. It's like, ah! Why did I think this was a good idea? I can't see.
You can't run forever.
It's a good thing I was wearing my spare face. Wow, Bentley really does think of everything.
No, it's like, it turns out, like, he learned how to endure glass from, like, a page of the Thievius Raccoonus.
From who? Glass breaking Cooper? I don't know, I was going with that.
I learned how to endure glass by my well-known ancestor, Thievius Cooper.
Thank you. That was way better than what I tried doing.
Although at the same time, it's like, it's still kind of a real shame that it's like, what was it? Unlike in the first game where we had to go through all that trouble of getting all the pages of the Thievius Raccoonus and learn all these techniques, they do not carry over into this game.
In fact,
the only thing Sly remembers is just how to ninja spire jump, a rail walk, and rail slide.
Yeah, a lot of those moves he has to remember from other villain safes. Okay.
Or like the safes, the vast majority of the moves that we learned, they're brand new moves, but literally all the other moves, you know, Sly completely forgot.
Carmelita's just as angry as ever. She's really quite lovely when she's angry.
You couldn't resist, could you, Ryan?
Hey, there you go, Devin. That one was for you, buddy.
better voice actor than this game.
Clockwerk. He was consumed with jealousy for the Cooper clan's thieving.
And this is also really neat. I mean, okay, granted, we basically get the same gimmick, you know, like when you start every other Sly game. But for people who, for whatever reason, you know, pick up Sly 2, you know, before they actually try their hands on Sly 1, they do get into a little bit of, like, I guess, a little backstory on, like, why Sly is doing this. Like, who exactly, like, how did Sly become a thief in the first place? Who exactly is Clockwerk and all that such?
What I want to know is how the hell do they salvage all of his parts from that volcano?
Yeah, really.
Part-time driver and full-time burden.
Just kidding.
The Brawn. They turned out to be all the family I needed.
Yeah, Murray got good.
2 years ago,
Well, this is just something like I noticed, like, just in general, like, it just seems like in the first Sly game, that was like, you know, yeah, where Sly just seems like, you know, I don't want to say dismissive, but like, kind of mean towards Murray and Bentley. Like, yeah, where he goes like, you know, yeah, like he says, oh, Murray's just a burden. But it's like, starting really with this game, and you do see this continue in the other games, it really does feel that it's like, okay, this is supposed to be a gang of thieves. I don't necessarily believe that in the first game, because it really was all Sly, but at least starting in this one, it really does feel like, you know, okay, yes, they are a team. Sly actually gives a shit about Murray and Bentley.
Right.
Yeah, really. Oh, man, but it's like, alright, well, wait. Oh, God damn it. Okay, look, it's been a while since I've done these Raws. I completely forgot I did this.
I don't get it. Why was that for me?
It was really shouldn't have said anything during part 2 of the Sly 1 playthrough, BJ.
Stop giving him ideas.
What?
Oh God! All right, look.
You're talking to a guy with short-term memory loss. You got to give me context here.
And I can't remember what happened 8 minutes ago. No, really, I can't. It's a serious problem. What are we all laughing about?
Who cares?
I'll give you context after we're done recording. So that being said, we pretty much got our objective. The Clockwerk parts have somehow been stolen by the Claw Gang. So now we got to get them back. So join us next time as we hunt down the first member of the Claw Gang and begin our journey of acquiring the first of many Clockwerk parts. We will see you guys then.
No, my video is up.
Oh, okay.
Up and right on time. What the hell?
Damn it, Ryan.
That's... I mean, come on, you cannot deny that's practically what they were doing. Yeah, great maneuver, guys.
Ryan, are you gonna play that clip for Murray every time he does the thunder flop in the next game?
I mean, if you want me to.
God damn it, no.
Okay, I won't.
It's like every single time.